I've been getting complaints about my facial hair situation. I think that if I gave it 2 more months, it wouldn't look so bad.
I don't know if you noticed this.
There's no way. Oh,
got a little mustache.
no, that's
back.
a bit. Don't you sell yourself short. I am floored by that mustache.
Yeah?
You've got a huge... Yeah, I didn't know I was doing a podcast with Tom Selleck. Come on.
Brunch. Hit it, boys.
It's Monday, and people are curious.
Are they?
Yes.
About what?
How are there not more car accidents?
What do you mean? There are plenty of car
There is
accidents.
a lot of car accidents, but I was on the highway this morning, and I was just like thinking of the concept of there's 4 lanes, each of them go different speeds, and you can pass each other, and everything that's going on is operated by a fucking human. How is it not
usually is not paying attention?
Right, especially nowadays, no one's paying attention. How is it just not immediately cars drive into each other?
I have no idea. Have you ever, like, I think this is a thing, but, like, where people are like, why does traffic exist?
Oh, yeah, like, they should... If,
it just
why
drives
is
to where
somebody
you're going.
slowing down? Yeah. Well, do you know why it exists?
Accidents?
Yeah, accidents, lights, people getting off exits, I would think.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody truly knows why traffic exists.
But it feels like it should be... Traffic should be less prominent than it is.
Yes, I think that people do take the excuse of traffic, and they could solve it, they could avoid it, and they're like, oh, well, there's traffic, so I'm just going to turn my mind off for the next 5 minutes and not do anything about it. And yeah, that's the worst.
Have you ever been in a car accident?
I have never caused a car accident. My car, as has been documented on this podcast, has taken some bruises over the years. And I was actually thinking recently, I was like, should I get any of like the ass kickings that my car has taken fixed? Like my car is 2013. It's 2018 now. I don't have any intentions of getting rid of it for like a couple of years. So
Sonata?
Sonata, yes.
Nice. Hyundai Sonata.
Hyundai Sonata. I wish I don't know what accent I'm using there. I want to use some sort of Spanish accent, but because everybody knows...
You could try out your Chinese accent.
Hyundai Sonata is a Spanish car.
Yes.
South American, actually.
Randy's been practicing his Chinese accent. He let me know the other day.
Did he?
No.
It's well documented. You guys got to watch out. Stop bragging that you can do accents, because if you brag that you can do accents, someone's going to start a rumor that you've been doing problematic accents, and the joke's going to be on you. Just don't do accents. Just speak in your normal voice, unless you can do an Australian accent, because everybody can agree those things rule. And I've yet to find an Australian person who's offended by it. There's I don't know if there's any harmful stereotype that exists.
Well, I'm sure that they hate it when they hear the same phrases over and over again. Like,
they should hate so many more
on
things.
The bobby.
Right, so that's
they
should
fucking hate that.
But if people just say the word "so" in an Australian accent, that shouldn't bug them. If it's like high, if it's like the high leverage things like shrimp on the bobby. What else is there? Dingoes,
Crikey.
Kangaroos. Are there kangaroos anywhere other than Australia?
I don't know. I don't know.
It would stink if kangaroos are everywhere and Australia is just known for kangaroos because they get excited about them just because maybe they're late to the game. Like everyone always talks about how Wisconsin gets stuff late, like they're just finding out about Nelly or something like that. Maybe Australia just got kangaroos. Another thing I'm curious about, I went to Dunkin' Donuts this morning, and have you ever had one of their wake-up wraps?
No. I try to avoid food at Dunkin' Donuts most of the time.
Yeah, you should. It's because if you're there, just get a donut or something. Yeah. It's all going to be bad for you no matter what.
They don't even try to disguise the fact that they're just throwing that shit in a microwave.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I was at my favorite really bad but amazing bar recently, and I got food. I got a chicken parm sandwich, not to brag, and one of my friends was like, I think we're going to have to make it 2 for this table. So he got one, and we could clearly see them microwaving his chicken parm sandwich. And we were just watching it, we were like, just take it out of our sight for 5 seconds before they bring it over here so we can pretend that
they
this
did
is for
something to
somebody
it?
else.
Yeah.
No, that this isn't his sandwich. His sandwich is getting grilled. I don't know how they would make a chicken parm
You
sandwich
ordered
in
the
a bar.
special one off the menu where they make it. They kill the chicken fresh and
Yes.
and then they make it special for you.
They beat it to, you know when you're making chicken parm, it's actually a thing. You got to like thin out the chicken and everything,
beat the
and
shit
then
out of it?
You got to beat it. You got to beat
Gotta
a dead
beat that
chicken.
meat.
Got to beat a dead
Gotta
chicken.
really, literally beat that meat.
Beating it with a dead horse, as Roger Clemens would say. But if you've ever had a breakfast wrap, wake up wrap, whatever it is from Dunkin' Donuts, it's like half a breakfast sandwich basically, and they put it inside a tortilla shell. So it is it's egg, cheese, bacon, tortilla shell. A tortilla, was that what it's called?
Wrap?
Tortilla,
Wrap.
yeah, tortilla thing. Why wouldn't they call it a fucking breakfast taco? So many more people would buy it if that's what it was. I'm thinking maybe it's because it's not shredded cheese, but you can do a breakfast taco with like a slab of either cheddar or
I don't know if I'd seen
American.
that, though.
What, a breakfast taco with
like a full slice of cheese or something.
I've definitely done breakfast tacos with. I'm a big with breakfast sandwiches of any kind. I used to be big into cheddar, Land O'Lakes American cheese. Have you ever had like the white Land O'Lakes American cheese? You get that from the
Good.
deli. That is better on a breakfast sandwich than probably anything. I don't know what it is. It tastes like. It's like if cheese could be a candy, that's what it is. I use that on everything. If I make nachos, I'll put that on there. If I do
In your Hyundai Sonata?
in my Hyundai Sonata, it's not South America. It's South United States of America.
Hyundai
The
Sonata,
Hyundai
you
Sonata
nachos?
is from.
I don't even know if that's a southern accent.
It's the accent of the guy who sold the Salamanca brothers the vest. You remember that guy? Mm-hmm. I actually had to
With
look.
the Hummer?
Yeah. No. He had a big. He had a big truck, like with a big thing. What's the back of a truck called? Like
A bed?
like a truck driver truck.
No,
like
like an 18
house. Yeah, he had an 18-wheeler, and then there's back part of the truck driver truck 18-wheeler is like a long room.
Yes, our long room, a trailer.
Yes, trailer. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where he kept all the stuff in there, and they shot him. He's like the only guy they didn't kill. Remember, he tells them that he wears the vests he's selling them everywhere he goes. And they are like, does it work?
Yeah, I do
And he
that,
says
yeah.
yes. And they shoot him. He says, "You broke my rib, you crazy maniac." And I thought for a second he was the guy from That Thing You Do, the guy who goes, "You're a jerk. Eat my shorts, Ken. You're a jerk, Ken." He goes, "Shut up! I'll kick your ass." And later he says, "Oh my goodness, it's a big wonderful thing." But yeah, if Dunkin' Donuts just called those breakfast tacos, way more people would buy them. Wake up wrap sounds like a ridiculously dumb thing. I've been researching Austin breakfast tacos because Austin is like the taco capital of the United States, maybe?
California. California is a big taco place.
Not necessarily. It's a big taco place because people from California are dumb, so they talk about tacos. So
I've been to California.
it's like
a few
saying
times.
that like
There's tacos
girls are
thing.
big puppy. It's like, oh, girls know everything about puppies. No, girls really like puppies.
Okay, fair enough.
People from California, like I
I
don't
have
know
not
that
tried the Austin taco scene, so we'll have to weigh in on this later.
it's closer to Mexico.
That's true.
So
That's a good geography lesson.
better, more authentic
Way to
tacos.
way to flex those geo muscles you've
Yeah,
got.
yeah. I'm not. I've actually gotten pretty good over the years with the geography.
I have no idea where anything is.
Do you think that if you could label the continents,
Oh, I could label. I could label the continents.
the oceans with 75% confidence?
Yeah,
I think that's about where I am. I give you some continents,
I
some
might screw up a
oceans.
continent. Honestly,
How would you do with states?
not good.
I would
Not
do
good.
terrible, and I've done those. Like I feel like every 4 years it comes out. Like, hey, how many states can you label? Like, 18 of
The
them.
one I live in, maybe.
The one I live in, but it gets tricky because all these northeast states are kind of jumbled together.
Yeah, that's true.
I always say up and down the wrong direction when talking about New York. I was talking to somebody about New York the other day, and I was like, so when you come
come down to
adjacent, would you?
well, New York's confusing because like Buffalo is on the line of Canada.
Yeah,
But it's south of us, isn't it?
that's true. Yeah, that's true.
So it's weird. It's a weird situation.
A lot of times when I've gone to Toronto, I've flown to Buffalo, rented a car, and then driven to...
How far away is it? Like an hour?
From Buffalo?
Yeah.
I think it's like an hour and 40, something like that.
Okay.
You can get a little playlist going, and then it's a fun time. Have you been listening to the Paul McCartney playlist?
I have not cracked into it yet.
I think I might need to give you a baby playlist to ease you in.
Yeah, maybe.
Is that why you haven't listened?
No,
'Cause
I
it's
think
daunting?
I've been preoccupied with other music.
Really?
Yes.
Nice.
I've gotten into, weirdly enough, I've gotten into some Post Malone.
Okay.
And it's not what I expected in terms of whether I'd like it or not, and it's grown on me.
Nice.
Do you have any Post Malone like?
I know the hits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Same. I mean, I've only listened to like the hits.
You're like, I've just listened to Psycho over and over
Yes.
again. What a good
Yes.
song. Really?
Yes,
Dude, I'm
Psycho
not ashamed.
rules.
I'm not ashamed to do that. Like if I really like a fucking hit song,
Yeah.
I'll just listen to it over and over again. I just did a thing recently, one of those websites where you log in with your Spotify information, totally safe move, and it gives you some stats.
Yeah.
And mine are fucking hilarious. Mine's like, hey, for someone who really likes music, you really like the song Mamma Mia by ABBA. Because you're really like hounding that. I looked at my plays from summer, and it was like every song on God's Favorite Customer, the most recent Father John Misty album, Mamma Mia, like 5 other ABBA songs, some Wolfpack,
I wish
some
iTunes
other
had
Father
that,
John
but
Misty.
I wish iTunes had that or Apple Music had that, but I feel like I don't because I would be like ashamed of myself in the way that I listen.
No,
to
you don't want. Yeah, it's like saying, it's like, hey, would you like a list of everything you've eaten in the past month? And you're like,
No.
You know what? I'm pretty good about what I eat. Yeah, and then it's like, yeah, you were
Tacos.
good during the day, and then you went to Wendy's every fucking night. You sad little boy. That's a situation for me. I don't do it much, but there's a Wendy's between my work and me getting on the highway to come home.
Yeah, man,
And
that's tough.
it's open late, so you can eat great even late. And man, that my last job next to the old Bruins practice facility was a fucking Sonic. How often do you get a Sonic in your life?
Not a lot.
Right. So I would hit that thing routinely. And you ever been to Sonic?
Yeah, it's okay.
I would agree. It's okay, but there's charm in okay places.
Yeah.
Like there was a
There's something nice about like making an okay place like your place.
totally. When I lived in Somerville out of college, there is a place called Angelina's, and totally fine, not amazing. They made all of their, speaking of American cheese, they made all of their subs with American cheese. So, can I have a chicken parm? Sure. Let's throw down 8 slices of American cheese on there.
Buy that shit in bulk.
And it was so weird, but it like wasn't bad. So, my roommate would be like, hey, you want to get food from wherever? And I'd be like, feeling Angelina's. And he's like, oh, well, we've agreed that they're not very good. And I'm like, yeah, but there's something about them.
That's sort of how I feel about that place, Jerry's, near my place. Like,
Jerry's that is perfect.
Yeah.
Exact. So I used to live near this place, Jerry's, which is now
I
near
live.
where you live, and they've got. Do you like the steak tip situation there?
It's weird.
Yes,
it's
they've got
it's a very weird steak tip situation. Their steak tips are red as fuck.
Yeah, and they are
stain your lips and your teeth when you eat them.
They take like a spray bottle, I think, of MSG, and then they make their food, and then they just like hose it down.
That place is 100% the most unhealthy place in the world.
Yeah, I remember it must have been like 2008, 2009 when people were like, you know what? Trans fats are out. Not only will we stop using trans fats, hey, the world just decided trans fats are fucking illegal. And in that time, I started to make sure I went to all my routine spots. Like I would travel home and like go, because I was in college at the time, and go to like my usual haunts to see which places had changed and which ones didn't. And I had so much respect for the places where their fries were exactly the fucking
Yeah.
same as they were
And
before.
they were just like, nah. We're not going to change.
Right. Because, like, I mean, you think of the way, like, the shit that businesses do. Like, a lot of them don't pay taxes and stuff. And eventually you find out that they all get in trouble for doing illegal stuff. I like the idea that this curmudgeon-y owner is like, hey, you can't tell me to make my food differently because just because I make food doesn't necessarily fucking mean I know how to make food, you know? Like, this is the way that works, and this is the way that's kept me in business. I'm going to keep doing trans fats. So I would keep... There's a place called Elton's in Arlington, Massachusetts. I would go there all the time. My dad and I would just go there. We get roast beef sandwiches and fucking these fries that were just... There wasn't even fries in these things. It was just 100% trans fats, and they're closed now.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, it's probably because their entire customer base just died.
I think the cops came. No, like I think they
There's
knock
an
on the door.
FBI raid.
Yeah, like they knock on the door. They're like, "Anyone in there?" It's like this is a takeout place. Clear door with the bell on it. You can see us in here. And then like they come through with the barricade thing, which because it's a glass door,
just
smashes the glass. You think that's ever happened?
I hope so. That'd be great.
And like as you're banging on the door, you hear like the light little jingle from like the bell. It's like, police, police. That's what a jingle sounds like. And that's just
there's somebody walking towards the door, and they can see them through the glass door walking towards, and they still fucking smash.
And they get a what's that thing called?
What?
The
battering ram?
Battering ram. They just get a fucking battering ram in the belly.
Stomach.
Which fortunately they've been doing a lot of trans fats, so they got some cushion for the battery in.
Speaking of health stuff, did you know that I heard this week, a little birdie told me, that spin is bad for you.
Like you're...
Just for like, you're bad for your body. Like it inflicts like trauma on your body.
Let me think. I'm trying to take this in and react. I'm trying to think of something in my life that does not inflict some sort of trauma. So
like, yeah, true. But like, you know how they say like running marathons is like traumatic to your body.
Yeah,
they say the same thing about spin apparently.
How? What do you...
It's like very bad for your spine. It's a very like condensed workout, like a marathon, sort of like very strenuous sort of deal.
Is it bad for posture and shit like that? Yeah.
Bad for your spine.
I think the ship has sailed for me and posture anyway, unfortunately. But maybe as I get wider, things will straighten out.
Yes, true. Yeah. So here's what I got. It's the worst possible thing for your spine. It's all cardio. It's such a severe activity. It's like marathon training where you don't even lose weight because your body is just storing calories.
Throwing a lot of big words at me.
Yes.
Since I don't know what they mean, I'm going to take them as disrespect. Watch your mouth and help me with the sale. Who, is that Kevin Hart who says that?
I don't know.
That's, you know what
It sounds like that would be a Kevin
40-year-old virgin. It's the guy.
In the TV store or
yeah,
whatever?
I think it is Kevin Hart. He's trying to get a deal because the salesperson is black. So he's like, hey, we're both black. I'm going to need...
get the sale.
Doesn't he say like... on the house or something? Like he's asking for some like ridiculous thing, and the guy's like, "Dude, I can't do
Hart? That." The black guy that I remember in 40-year-old version is not Kevin Hart.
No, the customer is Kevin Hart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
And he's like, "I'm gonna need to be like on the house or something like that," and he's like, "All right, I can't do that," and he's like speaking to him, and he says they have this little conflict, and he's like, "Okay, like listen to what I've said, and now let's move forward amicably." And he's like, whoa. Throwing a lot of big words at me. Since I don't know what they mean, I'm going to take them as disrespect. Watch your mouth. Help me with the sale. Will we drop that in? No, we don't need to drop that in.
No, I think you did a good job.
People have seen that movie.
Yeah.
He has sex in the end. Spoilers. He has sex a couple times in the end.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
and they all sing.
And then he gets into like a relationship where he presumably has more sex.
Yeah, well, that's what he gets into a relationship in which he doesn't have sex, the dream, and then at the end they get married and have sex. I think that like even though he wasn't saving himself for marriage, he ends up not doing the deed until he gets married.
Nice, good for him.
Pretty good movie. Was that like a too long Apatow movie?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
it was but it was a classic.
It was a classic,
but just probably could have added some fat trimmed a little bit.
Yeah.
Speaking of trimming the fat, you know what a problem for older men is sometimes? They get
fat, but apparently they can't do spin. So what's a guy to do, Pete?
They do get fat, but they also lose their hair because 66% of men lose their hair by age 35.
Shouts out Blake Bortles. I liked your tweet yesterday.
Oh, yes. Blake Bortles does suffer from male pattern baldness, as does our friend Jeff, who is not thrilled with my tweet pointing out the fact that Blake Bortles is a balding man.
Well, Pete, in all seriousness, how would you feel if somebody called out something gross about you?
Well, the thing is, Blake Bortles could help himself out if he had just been proactive and went to forhims.com. Forhims.com once he started noticing that he was losing his hair. Because the thing is, once you start to notice it, it's too late.
Everyone's already making fun of you.
Exactly. It's easier to keep the hair that you have than to replace the hair that you've lost. So the solution is to go to forhims.com, which is a one-stop shop for hair loss, skin care, and sexual wellness for men. Sexual wellness probably isn't a problem for Blake Bortles. He was jagging off all over the pads last.
That's true.
Last day,
spunking left and right.
Yes, we are both finally. We have fine heads of hairs. So
Yes.
We don't really need it. Not to brag.
Yeah.
At least not for the hair part.
It's not about us. It's about you, Baldy.
Yes. So go to forhims.com. They have they connect you with real doctors with medical grade solutions to treat hair loss. They use well-known generic equivalents to name brand prescriptions. You know what? You know what else they don't use?
Actually, they might. Oh wait, no, they don't.
No.
Use snake oil.
No snake oil.
No snake oil. So this is a good one, folks.
Yes, no snake oil or gas station counter supplements because
those have been going around.
Yes, that's always something that you want in your life. Things that you buy at a gas station and then put in your body.
Well, if you remember in Breaking Bad, that girl gets in trouble because there's a little gas station counter supplement trade-off that happens with Mr. Jesse Pinkman. The security cameras don't work, but God bless Hank, he noticed that the RV was probably within sight of the ATM machine.
Yes.
So good detective work by Hank. You don't want to go to jail like that girl did. She was killed, maybe.
Yes.
So no gas stations.
No gas stations, no waiting rooms, no awkward in-person doctor visits. Save hours by going to forhims.com. It's super easy. Answer a few quick questions and a doctor will review and prescribe you your products, which are shipped directly to your door.
Wow.
So order now. Our listeners get a trial month of Hims for just $5 while supplies last. See the website for full details. This would cost you hundreds if you went to a doctor or pharmacy. Go to forhims.com/brunch. That's forhims.com/brunch. Forhims.com/brunch.
For Hims, don't be gross. On the subject of drogas, we saw the film White Boy Rick.
Yes, we did. Not good, to be honest with you.
Disagree. No, I would say that it is not bad.
Well, I would say it's not good.
It was not bad. It was stupidly done. It was a waste of Matthew McConaughey. It was a waste of everybody. I think that everybody was good in it. The sister was good. The actors who played the grandparents, I mean, they did their best, but
yeah, I wouldn't say
they're probably not very talented anymore.
So I wouldn't say that it's a waste of Matthew McConaughey because I feel like this was a great display of Matthew McConaughey like doing his best to save a movie.
He get a nom out of this. If it's a shallow year, I could see him getting a nom out of it just because he's in that class now.
Yeah, I don't know, but like it's just a movie that isn't good. Like it would be weird to see it in the nominations, even for as good as he was.
So here's the problem with this movie. It was what was it? It was 115 minutes long, and they did not start the movie until the 70th minute. I was looking at my phone. I was when's this movie going to start? When's this movie going to start? Over an hour into the movie. They spend the whole time establishing that sometimes they sell guns.
Yeah, man. They spent like 70% of the movie on the come-up.
Yeah.
And then the last 30% on what is maybe the most interesting part of that story.
Yeah, that this kid who had been used by the cops for a while as an informant went on his own for a little bit and then cut a deal with the cops, but it was like a nudge, nudge, wink, wink. He got screwed over and got life in prison. You saw
that shit happened in 15 minutes.
If that, yeah. And especially like just the whole process. I likened it to if this is going to be like a journalism thing / probably a shot at the Ringer. If sometimes you'll read a feature from somebody about something and you can tell as you're reading it, like, man, they didn't get a lot from the people they interviewed about the interesting stuff.
Really
so they spent a lot of time on this other mundane stuff and then just kind of pieced everything else together. So while it looks big and grand and everything, you're like, what did I just get out of that?
Yeah.
They really breezed over the interesting stuff. I texted you guys after. I said if there were a pie chart of things that the movie makers felt were important to focus on in this movie,
Guns.
it would just be a big circle that said guns.
Which, I mean, like, I get the guns focus because that is how, like, he got introduced to the criminal world and things like that. But he was a drug dealer. Like, he's most famous for being a drug dealer. There is almost no drug dealing in this movie.
Very, very little. Yeah.
They really gloss over the criminal stuff.
Yeah.
And for a crime movie, that's very, very weird. Like, I went expecting to see a crime movie. Not a lot of crime.
This was, maybe this is true to the actual story, but I found it very funny with the way that it was all presented. At some point, it hits the news that this group has an informant working among them, and it's White Boy Rick. And they're all very surprised because they knew that somebody was talking, but they didn't know who it was. Here are some details about White Boy Rick. He is not only the only white person in the group, which shouldn't receive as much focus. He is the most recent member of the group to join. This was a group that was doing its business with no problems.
Fine.
Then this person joined, and about 2 weeks later, they're like, we're starting to think someone might be talking. And then it comes to light, it's that person who just joined and was clearly talking. And man, they were thrown for a loop. They were caught off guard. Didn't see it coming.
Nope. I had a few problems with this movie, and it's like it didn't make a lot of sense to me. Like, I feel like they kind of fucking glazed over a lot.
Like they didn't do it's like you didn't do your research and you tried to make up for it by just being like, let's throw another gun transaction in there.
Yeah, one of the things that I wrote down was it sort of felt like this movie kind of was too ambitious. Like, it felt like it wanted to be a crime movie, felt like it wanted to be like a working class father-son commentary, and also like a commentary on the judicial system. Yeah. And it didn't do any of those things well enough to like stand out.
I agree with that. And that's why
the father-son aspect was the strongest point of the movie.
Right, but they didn't even lean into it as much as they should have. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they didn't lean into that as much. I thought the girl who played the sister was really good.
She was crazy.
And
crazy eyes.
Again, for this is supposed to be a movie about drugs and selling drugs, and the detail of their family has experienced the whole drug thing and how one person being hooked takes down an entire family, which they're experiencing, yet because they need the money, if they start selling drugs, they spent like 14 seconds on that. And that could have been such a bigger part.
Yeah, I mean, like, they had one scene where it was on the side of the road.
Right, where they're like, we can't because of her, and he's like, we can because of ducats.
Yes, and then, what do you know?
Yeah.
And also, he might have been, White Boy Rick might have been the worst low-key criminal I've seen in my life. He lives in Detroit, the movie takes place in Detroit, lives in a very shitty house in Detroit. He drives a brand new Mercedes with the license plate, Snowman.
Oh, yeah. I always find that funny.
Not a great move if you're a drug dealer.
Yeah. I mean, vanity plates in general, if you have a vanity plate, you're either a drug dealer or a corny-ass old person.
Yes. The people, well, like, if you're a drug dealer, the people who use vanity plates are the people that should not be using vanity plates. You should be using plates that are tougher to remember because you're a criminal.
Yeah.
And instead, they just have ones that say Snowman. May as well just hang a banner that says, I am a drug dealer.
You know what's a cooler thing than a vanity plate? There are, every year they have drawings. It's like a lottery that you enter for kind of unique
Oh, right. Yeah.
license plates, and so you can get a license plate that just says like 14 or something like that. That's a cool ass license plate, right?
That's like mysterious.
Yeah, you should
Like,
enter
who's that
the.
person?
Especially you got a truck.
Yeah.
You should. You should enter that. I'm gonna get you some paperwork.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I've got a pretty cool license plate, so I don't want to mess with a good thing. There were some small laughs in this movie. Little kid comes over to tell White
that
Boy
was
Rick
fucking great.
that he's got a kid. White Boy Rick goes to Vegas and buys a chain, and he's talking to his dad afterward. It's a Star of David chain, and
He did not know that.
yeah, and he's like, hey, he was like, what'd you do in Vegas? And he was like, nothing, just like gambled a little bit, met a girl, and he was like, ooh, nice Jewish girl, huh? And he just like looks at him like Jesse looks at Skylar when he says vamonos and she says I wish, and he has no idea what vamonos means and is just looking at her like, I have absolutely
I don't know where to go from here.
Yeah, right. And he's like, your chain, and he's like looks down at it and he's like,
Nice,
that
right?
means Jewish. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought what did you think about the kid's performance?
I thought he was good.
I thought it was passable. Like it was like I didn't think that he was great, but it was I think that was like his debut or like his big debut. And I thought he was fine.
Yeah, I didn't
It wasn't
know
enough of a detractor. There was plenty of other issues that I had with the movie.
the thing with the accent is I just don't know if that's how he sounded, so I'm taking him at his word that he
Well,
like
they had the guy the audio
yeah, and he
recording
didn't
guy.
really
He didn't
sound like it.
that,
But maybe
no.
he grew out of it.
Maybe
Maybe it's like he did the thing where like when you go down south after a few days, you start saying like reckon a little more than you used to. Maybe there's like some way they talk in prison where once you're there, you're talking a little different.
When I went to Minnesota, I was pretty disappointed that I didn't hear like the real strong Minnesota accent.
Yeah, I think that must be like an outside
Yeah,
Minneapolis
I
thing
think so.
because I didn't get a lot of that either.
You ever watch Fargo though?
No.
Oh man, you should watch Fargo. It's great. Heavy accents in that show.
Nice. That's got to be like out in the non-Minneapolises?
It's in it's in Fargo and
right.
Bemidji. And
Nice.
It's like the outskirts, like on the border.
Nice. That's like a classic map labeling thing. Like the Minnesota and then the Dakotas gets very confusing. The Bruins have a player named Zane McIntyre,
Formerly
Gothberg.
Yes, way better name.
Yeah, and I remember, over the years, I would talk to him at like these various camps, and I knew where he played and everything, but I just didn't know like where he played.
North Dakota.
Was
Yeah.
So like he played at North Dakota, and he was from he's from I think Minnesota or something like that. But like certain towns in Minnesota and certain towns in North Dakota, I would just jumble them all together, and I thought it was one state. So I'd be like, so when you play here and blah blah, I'd be like, none of all of these things.
You have no idea what you were talking about.
Yeah.
So if we're doing our stamp grades, what would you give White Boy Rick?
Have we thought of labels?
No.
Yeah,
We still need
it should
to
be
do
a
this.
different label every time.
No.
I like that because then let's see. I would give White Boy Rick a pretty fine and very disappointing.
Yes. Okay. So disappointing is 100% what I would label it as.
It had a great trailer.
Yeah, 100%. And I thought that it was going to be. I thought there was going to be like more nostalgia.
Yeah,
more of a nostalgic
like
feel
80s?
to it.
Yeah.
But it didn't deliver for me. I would say it was not good.
Best acting performance. You guys didn't tell me that Danny Brown was in it.
I didn't even know Danny Brown was in it.
When
you said that, I was like, what?
Danny Brown was the loudmouth rival.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
and he walked. You could hear his voice in one scene, and I was like, am I being like offensive towards people from Detroit that I'm assuming that that's Danny Brown? And they showed him, and he was like, because like Danny Brown has a pretty unmistakable
He's
voice.
like a caricature.
Yeah,
basically.
right. Yeah, he And then later he's like, "Hey, this is awesome." He's got such like a high pitched, loud voice, and I was like, it's Danny Brown.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And then like once you see him, and you're like, yeah, that is Danny Brown. Oh, it's a classic Josh Tillman in Hotel Artemis. The second you notice him, he gets beaten to death.
Yes, yes. I really liked the dude who beat him to death. The kingpin.
I think that's YG.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought he was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
great performances all around.
Good performances in this movie, just not enough to save it.
It was on the
script sucked.
Yes, exactly. It was totally on the script. It was just horribly balanced.
Yes, absolutely.
Terrible lack of balance.
Yeah, the allotment of time to certain parts of that story are crazy.
Where like Black Mass needed to have more time. They made this a 2-hour movie. If you're gonna make shit fly by like they did at the end, then make stuff in the beginning fly by too, and just cut out like 40 of the first 70 minutes. And
Black Mass was sort of like a different sort of suffering because that's such a grand story that they tried to tell in 2 hours.
Yeah.
And they just tried to make it like such a polished
so
Hollywood
you couldn't
product.
invest in anything.
Right. This one, they had. I feel like they could have done it. It wasn't as ambitious as telling Whitey Bulger's story in 2 hours, but they just chose to tell the wrong parts of the story.
Yeah, again, keep it at 115 minutes, and instead of making the first 70 minutes about guns, make the first 30 minutes about guns, then give that 40 minutes to the second half, and then bingo, bango, bongo, you got a movie.
I also saw A Simple Favor last night, and I want you to see it. We should talk about it on Friday.
I was 100% in on seeing A Simple Favor, and I didn't get around to it this weekend, and I was pissed because then you saw it, and like you kind of beat me to the punch, and I felt bad because like my total intention was to see that movie. I didn't know that we were going to see it like for this, so I feel bad that I didn't see it. I will see it by Friday. I saw another preview for Bohemian Rhapsody, and I think that it is time that we start the train of A Star Is Born is going to be 1,000,000 times better than Bohemian Rhapsody.
I think so. I don't think that's a hot take at all.
Yeah. Like just so everybody knows.
I've always had, since the very beginning, I've had my
that movie's gonna suck.
apprehensions about Bohemian Rhapsody. Just like they changed directors. Like there was tons of stories coming out from like that set that shit was not going the way that they wanted it to. I'm
more like Snowhemian
worried.
Rhapsody because that's the snowman of biopics.
I don't know if it's going to be that bad. I think it still has a chance to be good, and I think that people are going to say it's good no matter what because they love Queen and they just want to see this story told.
Yeah,
but I'm a little worried. I did find out this weekend that A Star Is Born is a remake.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't realize that this wasn't like Bradley Cooper's brainchild.
Yeah. I guess that's fine. That's good then for Bradley Cooper. This is a classic move on Bradley Cooper's part. He's given himself get out of jail free card after get out of jail free card because there are some elements, as we said last episode of this, that aren't great. She's like, I have stage fright. I got this anxiety thing. And he's like, I don't care. I will lead you to blah, blah. It's like, all right.
Have you seen the Nose trailer yet?
What's
the
that?
one where he just plays with her nose?
No.
You haven't seen that? Damn.
No. But if it's a remake, then he can say, I'm just doing what's in the movie. And back in the 60s or whatever, people were problematic. And that's just how they were. Speaking of problematic, this is a weird thing. I don't know if I should bring it up.
1937.
Oh, man, that's so old. I bet that's crazy problematic.
Yeah. Wait, I don't know. Maybe it's a different one, but it's an aspiring Hollywood actress. So I think that maybe it's not the same story.
So I don't know if I should bring this up, but I follow Millie Bobby Brown on Instagram because I follow Randy and his peeps. I keep up with them. And Millie Bobby Brown posted a video of her and her castmates like dancing at like an Emmys party or something.
Yeah.
And
Emmys
it's like
weekend.
her and the kid who plays Will, and devotees will know, I'm no fan of that kid. But they're dancing and like jumping around and everything, and like they're like holding hands at one point or whatever. And I was scrolling through like, and she'd posted that. And I saw like the top comment was, I'm surprised that you posted this, Millie. It seems that whatever the kid's name is who plays Will is like being very disrespectful of you, and like there are points where like you step back while dancing and then he steps towards you, and like he's
It's
not
a fucking overanalyzation
of like children
yes.
jumping around. And I was like, don't put, like, if he's doing something wrong, then of course, but like these are children,
right?
These are children who are going through like
Life
changes,
life,
and they're dancing around. It seemed very, very harmless to me. But if we're getting to the point where we're yelling at kids and telling them how they can dance, I'll tell you this. I didn't know how to fucking dance when I was a kid or anything. And if someone was like, hey, you see you're dancing with that person's being really disrespectful to you and like putting you in danger and stuff, I would be like, oh God, then I'm never dancing again.
Jesus Christ.
So, like, can we leave kids alone, please?
Yes, please. I mean, I get very uncomfortable with any of the Stranger Things stuff. Like,
oh, yeah, I told you recently, I was like, I think I have to unfollow all of them.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes me really, really uncomfortable how obsessed people are over like every aspect of their lives.
Yeah, like, and it exists a lot on Randy's posts and things like that. Like, what did Randy... when Millie met Taylor Swift, Randy said, like, I'm jealous or something. And people like, commented, and they were like, ew, dude.
Yeah.
Randy said he wants to meet Taylor Swift, man.
Yeah, Randy is the most fucking, like, the nicest soul.
Right, yeah, I won't use the term woke because woke has now been reappropriated as an insult.
Yeah.
Woke is the new, you know what woke is? Woke's the new millennial.
Liberal?
Ah, well, yeah, well, similar.
Yeah, millennial is, that's like a bad thing now.
Millennial's a really bad thing. Oh, hey, you were born in this time by these people who made you, and they've given you a derogatory name. Hey, maybe they shouldn't have made you and raised you to be exactly what you are. Maybe it might be their fault.
One thing that I did this weekend to get pumped up for Halloween, the movie.
Yeah?
I watched the original Halloween.
Nice. Had you seen it before?
No.
What?
Yeah, I hadn't seen the original Halloween. I watched it to as basically like, hey, I'm going to be seeing the new one, so I'm going to watch it. Had the opposite effect. That movie sucks.
You think so?
The first Halloween sucks.
Maybe I haven't seen it maybe it's like a nostalgia thing where like if you go back and watch Adam Sandler movies, you're like, oh, those are probably really bad.
Maybe. But
like when I was a kid and I watched them, they were...
Like, it doesn't even compare. Like, Friday the 13th was way better than that.
I never saw Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th, way better.
I was a Halloween stan when I was a kid.
Really?
Saw every single one.
Damn. Yeah, the first one was just like... I mean, I get, like, it's a product of the time.
Yeah.
Like, it's... like, those scary movies were what they were.
Yeah.
But it's just, like, 70% of... the movie is Michael Myers not doing anything, just standing around.
It's him walking
houses.
Towards people?
Yes,
yeah.
And standing outside of houses.
He's not he could use a spin class or two.
Yes.
Because his body would actually probably explode if he went to spin class because he never runs. Sometimes he walks. He's mainly standing.
Right.
If he could get a Segway, he'd be a very happy man.
And I don't have a problem with that. Like, I'm fine with him. Like, that's sort of one of his trademarks. He doesn't run. He's in no rush to get anywhere.
Yeah, because he can get you.
Adds a little creepy element to him.
Yeah.
But literally, like 75% of that movie of Halloween is like set up for him doing something, and in the last 15 minutes he decides to do something.
I got to go back and watch it. I got to watch a couple of them anyway. One of the ways that he kills someone in Halloween 2 is people are in a hot tub and he turns up the water too hot.
Hell yeah, good move.
And so they die.
That's like a Final Destination move.
It's like the water's too hot.
Yes.
I don't know if they couldn't get out or something. If there was like some like he turned off like there was a gravity situation where they just like couldn't get out.
You ever see?
He's a very scientific man.
You ever see the Final Destination one where the girls get trapped in the tanning bed?
That's
horrifying one.
That sounds bad.
It's horrifying. They just literally cook to death. But so like I was watching Halloween. And I was watching it on demand, and so it tells you like how much time is left in the movie, and like nothing had happened, and it was like I paused it and it was like, 12 minutes remaining in the movie.
Oh, really?
And I was like, what the fuck? This can't be true. They must have fucked this up.
Had you
Nope.
reached the iconic closet scene yet?
No, that hadn't happened yet.
Wow. Yeah, I gotta watch it.
All of that happens in the last 12 minutes of the movie.
Interesting. So you would say that Halloween suffers from white boy Rick syndrome.
Yes.
White boy Michael syndrome.
Yes. White face Michael syndrome.
Yeah. Speaking of hot tubs, gotta shout out our dead guy, Mitch Hedberg. Probably the only dead person we shouldn't make fun of because it's not funny. He died.
Right.
Have a little
sensitivity, people.
Yes. He
Show
had
some respect.
a great joke about hot tubs. He said that if he's sitting in or he sees a guy in a hot tub, he just really wants to walk over and drop in some carrots and then some onions and then say to the guy, hey man, why don't you just sit there? Sorry. Hilarious.
Mitch Hedberg is fucking great.
He was the best. Like, now that I can't say that Bill Cosby was the best anymore, looking for a new comedian. And Mitch Hedberg probably, in my life, Mitch Hedberg has probably made me laugh as much as Bill Cosby and like Chris Rock have made me laugh. He was the best. Super dead.
Yes.
Be respectful, please.
I'm still excited for Halloween, but I gotta say, the first one.
Yeah, well, now that I think of it, it's not like those movies were great. I mean, horror movies are bad.
Jamie Lee Curtis, seeing Jamie Lee Curtis play a high schooler was a very jarring experience.
Right.
I feel like
she's been playing a 70-year-old for the last 80 years.
Yes, I feel like she was 40 years old coming out of the womb. But gotta say, she was attractive in her younger days.
Because hasn't she been? She was the face of some like old woman yogurt.
Yes, the ones that make you poop, the fiber
really?
ones. Yeah,
nice.
Like she was all about the pooping.
Yeah.
But I feel like she was in Freaky Friday.
So she's still got that high school sense of humor.
Yes.
She's doing poop jokes.
Yes. Through yogurt.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like she was in Freaky Friday like 20 years ago, and she was like 50 years old in that movie.
Well, Lindsay Lohan was in that movie, and she was like 22, and now
she's
she's
somehow
80
aged
years
worse.
old.
Aged worse than Jamie Lee Curtis.
That's the old rest in peace Louis C.K. He had a joke about that, of how he was like, when I was... He was like, when I was 40, Britney Spears was 80, and like now we're both 55.
Yes. Now, I'm still excited for Halloween, but we got to talk about Insecure.
Yes, that was the funniest episode there's ever
Which
been.
one?
Last episode.
The one that aired this Sunday?
Yeah, I laughed out loud so many times.
I thought the one before that was phenomenal.
The Coachella one was bananas.
Yes, it
was.
That one gave me anxiety, made me laugh. Like, as a music festival person, I had hives watching them try to go to a fucking music festival. I was like, you're missing everything.
And none of them know how to do it. And I think they get in a fight with somebody because somebody hits them with like a baby's first festival, don't they?
Yes, yeah.
Which is so rude. I've definitely said that to people before. And like Jeff and I have done that to people. Like we've seen people walk by and we're like, "Oh, baby's first festival."
Yeah. It's
trash.
Easy to tell. Yeah. It's easy to tell when there's like a newcomer at a music festival.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that was just the absolute worst nightmare of like my festival. That's the worst thing that could happen at a festival.
They completely missed the person that they wanted to see, and it's like the
every
person
act
was
before
Beyonce.
them. Yes.
Yeah. They although I think they catch Haim.
Do they?
Yeah, because the Wire is playing while a lot of shit's going on.
Hell yeah.
And Esty was very excited about that.
Nice.
Esty, this girl who follows me on Twitter, was very, very excited about that. Yeah, that was a bananas episode.
And then it ended in the fucking Lawrence.
Yes.
Which wild ending to that episode.
Yeah. I was wondering, I was really eyeballing those things hard because I was wondering if they maybe shot him in a different place to keep everything such a secret that he was in it. I am so happy, elated even, that they can still have a surprise like that in 2018.
Right.
Where everything leaks, everything like...
And nobody spilled the beans that he was coming back. Like, people were freaking the fuck out.
Those NDAs must have been outrageous.
Yes. Like, people were going wild that Lawrence was, like, written off the show and wasn't in any of the trailers and stuff like that.
I was saying I was in no rush to catch... I fell behind a couple episodes, and I was like, it's not the same without my guy Lawrence.
Right.
And then you texted me and you were like, "Hey, you might want to catch up. Someone you like is in it." And I forgot. I was like,
You're like,
"John
I'm?
Hamm?" Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And so he showed up at the end of last week's episode, and then they open this week with him, and like it is a crazy fucking montage.
She says, "What have you been doing?" And in his head, it's just endless unprotected sex.
Straight fucking.
Yeah.
Straight fucking on a couch.
Endless insecure sex.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they go away from that, and I thought that was it. And I was going to be like, no, are you kidding me? But he's working his way back in.
Yeah.
He's back in the fold. Not as clean as he used to be. That was a little disappointing.
Yeah.
I felt disappointed, like deep in my bones, that he got an STD.
It made for a lot of funny scenes,
Yeah.
but I was like, I don't even know. Like, are we allowed in 2018 to like
To chlamydia
laugh
shame?
to like laugh at chlamydia? There were a lot of opportunities. The hardest I'd laughed ever in Insecure is when he's calling all the girls saying they might want to get checked. And it's like a montage of him going, like, sorry to call you like this, sorry to call you like this, sorry to call you. And then it's like a bunch of like, so you might want to get checked, you might want to get checked, you might want to get checked. And the last one, the girl says, why? We didn't have sex. and there's just silence from him. And she goes, you can't keep track of who you're fucking? The worst. And hangs up. I laughed so hard at the worst.
That was
That
great.
would be hilarious if somebody that you've not hooked up with called you and was like,
hey, get tested.
hey, get tested. Because you'd be like, wait, do you know how this works? Like, we've kind of got to do stuff for that to happen.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
And then his friend, I think his name's Chad, his life
Chad
has really hit a wall.
Yes, Chad is like a classic scumbag who doesn't really realize that he's a scumbag.
Yeah, like, and everything has caught up with him. I didn't think that I even realized that he was a scumbag. Maybe they didn't reveal that he was a scumbag until now. I just thought that he was a kind of funny
He was
wise
just like a
ass.
dick, yeah.
Yeah, and he would always like bust chops. I thought that was funny. I was like, I can get behind this Chad guy. And then like in the montage, like he's engaged. He's like titty fucking strippers.
Yes.
He's doing all sorts of stuff he shouldn't be doing. And they show him at like the bar the night of his wedding, him having been left by his bride.
Yes.
And they're sitting at a bar later, like reflecting on everything, talking about Issa, talking about his ex-girlfriend or his ex-fiance.
And he calls Issa a hoe.
And Lawrence is like, you did
the
way
exact
worse
same thing.
than what she did.
And she's like, and he was like, yeah, she a hoe though.
Yeah, right. He's like, yeah, that's like the classic male double standard type of thing. And I liked the way they painted it because it wasn't so obvious the way they did it. But just like, I could totally see two guys talking like that. Like, oh man, this girl cheated on you. What a hoe she is. Hey, didn't you cheat on somebody? Yeah, but it was different, man. And what else could I have done?
I also liked Lawrence's phrasing of, she's not a hoe. She just did some hoe shit.
She did, yeah. I've like done that before, not necessarily with like relationship stuff, but with like that person did something really bad. They're not a bad person.
He's not a dick, but he did some dick shit.
Right? Yeah, I totally identified with that. It keeps like Chad keeps getting back into a corner with stuff because he keeps saying stuff that he does not have like any ground to say, and he changes the subject with their other friend. He's like, yo, you hear Lawrence has chlamydia now? So do you follow the cast of Insecure?
No.
I follow Issa. I follow Yvonne Orgy, I think is her last name.
Tough break on that last name.
Yeah, sorry if I mispronounced it. Who plays Molly. And she was live tweeting the episode, and she was like, Chad is the worst fucking friend in the world. And I wanted so badly to quote tweet it with like, possibly the funniest, though. Getting big laughs out of Chad this
For the first time, I watched the Wind Down after the episode. Have you ever watched those?
I did last season. I haven't watched any this season.
I watched the one last night. It's pretty solid.
I thought it went right from the Wind Down to the John Oliver show. Or no, went from Insecure to the John Oliver show. No,
Maybe it's just on HBO Go because I watch it. I watch
Oh,
it on HBO
cool.
Go now, so
Yeah.
they might just attach that to the end of it.
Yeah, those I've seen a few of those though, and they're pretty cool.
Yeah, they're not bad.
Because the Insecure is just one of those shows that as soon as you see it, you want to talk to somebody about
Yeah.
it. Like some of my coworkers
a
watch
water
it,
cooler show.
and I spend most of Monday at work just talking about Insecure.
Yeah.
What do we think? By the way, the Lyft guy confirmed hot. We haven't gotten to hit on that. You're right.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
very.
yeah.
He's got those.
Eyes.
He's got the Michael Ealy eyes.
Yes, yeah,
very,
yeah.
very good eyes. The guy that Molly might be seeing, very handsome.
Yeah,
like
the
his
Asian
hair,
guy?
the Asian guy.
Yeah.
And
He's got
interesting
swag.
It's an interesting storyline that she's like, I want to end up with a black guy. Jewish people are allowed to like be overtly particular
Yeah.
about people they
J-date,
date.
baby.
Why can't? What's that?
J-date.
Yeah, like J date. And what she says, she's like, why can't I be Orthodox black?
Yes.
Amazing. And then the other friend, who's I always forget her name,
Same.
Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's hilarious. She's like, I'm Orthodox black. You don't go to church. And she's like, I do on certain
Special
days, like when
occasions.
I get back from Miami.
Yes.
God bless that show. So fucking funny. It's
I
just
feel like Kelly's taking a big step in this season.
yeah. That show is everything that I wanted girls to be.
Fair
It's
enough,
like
yeah.
young people trying to figure, or not young people, like what I would consider young people because I'm getting older, but like people in their 20s and 30s trying to figure out shit.
Like middle-aged
and it's
youngness.
funny as hell. That's all I wanted.
yeah, like-
Girls was more catastrophic.
Yes, because Lena Dunham was behind it.
Yeah, but Adam Driver was hilarious.
Love Adam Driver.
Actually, girls had a bit of insecure syndrome. They're about to have sex, and she says, he like runs to the other room, and she's like, "Can you grab a condom?" And you hear, "I will consider it." That's a classic insecure move. Except insecure just would say no.
And I like it. I mean, it's crazy because they were called out for like lack of safe sex.
Yeah, they're like, if this is a show that's for like young people, why aren't you showing like safe sex?
And they just completely steered in the other direction. They were like, "We hear your complaint."
Let's add
but-
pregnancies and STDs.
Yes.
There's now 2 pregnancies and 1
Well,
STD.
I guess at least now there's consequences.
Yeah.
of-
Yeah,
of
right.
Showing the lack of safe sex.
That's actually a good move on their part. I still would like for them to every now and then, because people said they're like, yo, just like show a condom wrapper on the
Right.
floor one time. Like, lie to us, Jerry.
Right. I will say the chlamydia did not ruin Lawrence's glow.
Oh
Still.
no, he's still.
Still a hard 10.
We need to make an Instagram account called Lawrence in Shirts, because
Yes.
he makes every shirt look so fucking
I know,
good.
it's
Can
unbelievable.
you make DJ Lawrence shaped thing? Because I think it's just his shoulders, his posture.
Yeah, he's got like the skinny but in shape physique.
He's so fucking handsome. I'm very glad he's back. I need him in more stuff. Dro, not loving the new haircut.
Yeah, it's the hard part.
He's
the
got a hard
line
part, and it's
is-
separating like what's verging on Jerry curls, which Jerry curls are cool, but you got to lean into those shits.
Yeah.
You got to do those. You got to go all
and
out
it's
on
like
Jerry curls.
towards the middle of his head.
It comes
and,
in way too much.
and like the lengths are different.
He does like a Gosling part with a hard part at an angle.
Yes.
So maybe ladies, if you don't know, hard part is when they take a straight razor and actually shave a part
Line,
into
yeah.
your hair. So it's like a thin little line, and it works to separate whether like there's slightly different lengths or just like where your part goes. It was very, very popular.
Like 2, 3,
like
4 years
recent
ago.
years, yeah.
Like,
I would do
I
them
had
a lot.
one.
Yeah.
I had a hard part, and then I noticed that Nazis were starting to have them, so
Well-
I decided to go away from that.
Nazis don't actually do the shave thing. They just do like a very, very clean and like I guess that would
Harsh.
make sense. Like extremely clean, like just dramatic
Yes.
part. Yeah.
With like a shitload of product in there.
Yeah, there's a
The
lot of shine going
shiniest-
on.
yeah.
And I'm not a big shine guy.
No,
I
me
do
either.
I do a matte
I like
pomade.
I like the natural look.
Yeah, I do. What do I do? I do clay pomade, so there's not much shine
Same.
on it. Then hit it with a little hairspray because Daddy's hair can get pretty out of control. I've been getting complaints about my facial hair situation. I think that if I gave it 2 more months, it wouldn't look so bad.
I don't know if you noticed this.
There's no way. Oh,
Got a little mustache.
that's a bit. Don't you sell yourself short. I am floored by that mustache.
Yeah?
You've got a huge... Yeah, I didn't know I was doing a podcast with Tom Selleck. Come on.
Yeah, I'm growing it back for Austin. Specifically,
Really?
yeah.
Nice. Well, if I quit...
Also getting a head start on No Shave November
nice.
in September.
If I quit my 2-month... my 2-month plan, then maybe I'll just do a mustache too, because Randy was supposed to come and he bailed. So maybe the two of us together can have one mustache.
Yes.
Here's an issue though. I've been thinking about it. We have a couple's costume we're doing for Halloween. I don't know if we've said what it is, but
It's quite obvious.
it's the most obvious. Mine can't really involve facial hair, so I have been meaning to look up. Do I get makeup to put over my shitty beard?
No, dude.
I'll look so bad.
Why won't you just shave it? You just invested too much time in it?
Because I've already put like a few weeks into it.
But Halloween's a good reset. Like, that's a good time to do it.
Yeah. Maybe I can use Halloween as a means of sticking to Make DJ White again, because I can act like I'm bulking up for a part. Even though I'm not. Like, I'm not doing Make DJ White again to bulk up. I'm doing Make DJ White again, room for the stuff.
Well, yes. I got to get back on it. I've been slacking lately, but I am going to Mexico in January.
Really?
Yeah, so I got to get
a lot
my
of
shit
topless
together.
pics coming up.
Oh, yeah. I got to get my shit together for that.
Have you considered getting a new tattoo before then? Because that'd be a nice...
I want to do my arm.
Like a sleeve?
Yes.
Ooh, baby. I want you to
know.
do that too.
Yeah, I want to do it so bad. I'm thinking about it.
Nice. I thought of a new tattoo idea recently. I don't know if it would be cool or not. You know those like old school cars, like the ones that are kind of like convertibles, basically like the Monopoly piece car.
Yes,
like one of those with like the short little windshield going on.
Yep.
Well, one of those driven by
a dog in a suit.
Yeah, driven by Emilio with like a scarf on,
blowing in the wind.
Yeah, wouldn't that be a great
that'd
tattoo?
Be great.
Yeah.
You should do it on the... where would you do it? I would say the inside of the arm would be kind of funny. The inside of the bicep.
That would be... Oh, I want an inside of the bicep because, like I said, my queen, Lady Gaga, has, like, a very cool inside of the bicep.
That would be a good one because those cars are sort of, like, long-ish.
Yeah.
And, like, it would be... You could just stick out your arm and it would be like Emilio's driving down your arm.
Oh, my God. My sister would be so fucking pissed because she's already... She tolerates how much I love Emilio, but I think that she's got a little bit of like the...
All right, this is my baby, not
hey,
yours.
like, this is my dog, and I love you, obviously, but I'm maybe a little worried about you that, like, what's going on in your life that you're just like, Emilio. Like, what are you blocking out? And I can tell her, but that would be a long fucking talk.
Yes.
I don't want to fucking go down why I need somebody else's dog to make me happy. So maybe I'll just get that tattoo instead.